Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to discuss about everything about the SQL joins. So we are going to discuss about the inner join, left join, right join. Then we are also going to discuss about the anti-join. In that we will cover left anti-join, right anti-join, then full outer join and self join. Everything, all the types of join, I'm going to explain in detail with the practical use cases in just less than 2 hours. So make sure that you watch the video till the end. What is join? So a join in SQL is basically used to combine a data from two or more table based on the related column between them. So basically, suppose there are two tables and you want to combine them. In that case, you can use the join. So there is a concept like a foreign key and primary key that we are going to discuss in detail in the further session. So now just let's understand there is a concept like foreign key and primary key, and using this key we are connecting this two table. So this is some related column is a present in the both the table, and using this column we are combining two or more tables. So in a real example, think like you are connecting puzzle pieces together. So for each table has a part of the information, and a join helps you to see the complete picture. So it's like you are having two puzzle pieces and you are combining and forming a complete picture. So the same like we are using the joins to combine the two table to form a complete picture, or to create a data, or to create the table however we want. So for that I'm going to create the two tables, name as the department and the employee. So let's create the table. So for that I have already written queries to create the table. So we are going to create a two table. So the first one is the department table and the second one is the employee table. So if you see the table column, in the department we have two column, department ID and the department name. Department ID is the integer value and it is the primary key. In the department name, we are not accepting any null value. So here you can see not null. And here I have added the data using the insert into command. So if you see the data, the first column we have added the integer value, which is the department ID. And the second column is the department name like HR, IT, marketing, and sales. And there is another table name as the employees, which is having column like employee ID, then name, department ID. So department ID here is the foreign key, which is taking the reference of the department ID here. So now you can refer, this is the related column between the both the table. So this is the same column, and here you can see it is a primary key here, and this is the foreign key here. So using this two column, we are going to join this two table. So department ID in employees is the foreign key that reference the department table, and the foreign key allows matching for the join, and it ensures the data integrity. And after that you can see the query of the insert into, where I'm adding the data into this employee table. Again we are adding the four records. So this is the employee record, and here you can see the employee ID, then employee name, and this department ID. So here department ID, if you map this, so Alice is from the department HR, Bob is from the department IT, Charlie is from the department marketing. As you can map this ID, department ID, from this table to this table, you will understand which employee belongs to which department. And for the David, you can see the department ID is the null. So it is not defined like David belongs to which department. So this is the data available. So let's create the table first. So I'm going to create the department table first. So you just need to copy paste these queries and execute this one. So currently I'm connected to the master. I'm changing it to the employee database, and I'm going to create all my tables and data in the employee database. If you want, you can create another database for the join. I'm going to use the same database. So let's execute this query. All these queries I'm providing in the description as well as in the comment section. So you don't need to worry about, you can just copy paste and use this command. So right now we have created this department table. You can see the message commands completed successfully. The next thing is I'm adding the data. So adding data, we are using the insert into command. So just let's execute this one and let's see the data is getting added. So you can see we have added the 4 rows. So here in the message, you can see the 4 rows are affected. After that, I'm going to add this employee table as well. So for the employee table also we have the query here to create the employee table and to add the data. So I'm going to copy paste this both of creating the employee table and adding the data. Here also we are adding the 4 records, right? So now we have created this table here. So if you see previously we have created just employee detail and sales table in the employee database. So right now you just need to refresh this database and then you can check what exactly the tables are created properly and what exactly the data is available using the select command. So let me just refresh this one. So once you refresh, you can go to the employee database. Here under table, you can see there are 2 tables now added. The one is the department and the other one is the employees. You can see what are the columns present under this also. So we have added the department ID and the department name under the department table. And for the employees, we have added employee ID, name and the department ID. And department ID is the foreign key here. So now let's see what exactly the data available inside this table. So for that, I'm going to create the new query. You can connect to the employee database or whatever the database you have created. And I'm just going to write a simple select query just to see the data. So for that, I'm going to write tbo dot first one is the department. Let's see what exactly the data available in the department. So we have added the Ford record and the same data you can see here as well. So let's check the data for the employee details as well. I'm going to just copy paste this query and instead of the department you can write the employees and let's both the execute this table. And now you can see whatever the data we have added you can see here in the table as well, right? So here as we already discussed the relation between these two table, so there is a common column name as the department ID. So now let's see what exactly use of the joins and why do we use joins. So as we discuss in a relational database, data is usually split into a multiple table to avoid the redundancy and to maintain the structure. So for example, here in the employee table, you can understand we can maintain the data like instead of mentioning department ID, I can put like department ID, department name, all the details here. So maybe the department head or the department related details I can add here as well, but that will create the redundant data. So suppose Alice is there or there are 10 different employees who are working in the same department. Then I need to repeat all the same data again and again. So that will create the redundancy in the data and that will make our data huge, right? So here if you see, we have created the separate table name as the department where we are maintaining all the data. So we don't need to repeat this data again and again in the employee table. We have just mapped this both the table using the same column name as the department ID. So from this department ID, if I go back here, I will get all the data related to that particular department. So I don't need to add all the data in the employee table. So basically, in a relational database, we split the data into a multiple tables. So here we have the 2 tables. There might be many tables which are interconnected using the related column, right? So this use is for to avoid the redundancy of the data and it maintain the structure as well. So let's see some more uses of this joins and why we split the data like that, and why we use the joins to connect these tables. So we can connect two or more tables using the join. So first one is we can retrieve the related data. So here you can see we took the example of the employee table and the department. These are both a different table. But if you want to display like I want to display like employee name and then department name, I can do using the joins. So basically you need to use the join for this two table on the department ID. So I can create a new table where I will display the employee name and the department name. Like for the Alice, instead of mentioning ID, I can directly connect and mention Alice, department name HR, Bob, department name IT, and the Charlie, department name marketing. Like that, I can use the join and display this new data, which makes more sense, right? From the department ID, as a third user, I'm not understanding which department Alice is belongs to. But if I connect these two table using the joins, and if I get the name, employee name and department name, I can easily understand this Alice employee is belongs to HR department. Like that, for the retrieving the related data, we can use the join. The second one is to normalize the data. So join makes normalization practical. It follows the data to be stored efficiently. So here data we are splitting into the two tables and efficiently we are storing the data. So because of splitting it into two table, it avoiding the data redundancy and it is maintaining the structure. So it store the data efficiently and relation between the tables to be reconstruct we can reconstruct any times whenever it is needed. So for that we are using this joins. Then the third one is avoids data duplication. So as we discuss in a relational database, we are splitting the data into the multiple table. So which will avoid the data duplication. So instead of mentioning all the department related details in the employee table, I'm creating a separate table name as a department. So it is avoiding the duplicate data. So instead of storing the department name everywhere in a employees rows, we are storing the department ID in the employee and we are storing the department detail in the department table, and we can use the joins to view the full information whenever needed. The fourth one and the last one use of the join is to build the complex queries. So joins allow you to build the complex query. So what is meant by complex queries? So you can combine a data from multiple table, not from this two table. You can combine the data from multiple table using the related column. So you can use the filter across the relationship, and as well you can build a report and analytics that span the multiple entities. So let's conclude this discussion like why do we use join? So join is a way to connect a tables in SQL. It helps to combine a related data based on a common key or a common column. It is essential for working with a normalized database where data is a split across a multiple tables. So there are different types of join. So there is a inner join, then left join, right join. We are also going to discuss about the left anti-join, right anti-join and full outer join, as well as the self join. So these are the types of the join. What is inner join? So in the last session, we already discussed about what is join. So basically join we use to combine rows from two or more table based on the related column. So basic concept is the same only. Same like inner join is used in a SQL to combine rows from two or more table based on the related column between them. But it returns only the rows that have matching values in both the table. So basically whatever the matching value available in both the table that we will get as a output. So let's see in our case what exactly the output we are expecting. So for that, I have created this table here in the pend. So we will understand first theoretically. Let's see as the inner join what the output we are expecting. Okay. So in the output, I just want is the name and the department name. So here I will write name and here is the department name. So these two columns only I want in the output. If I not provided which columns I want in the output, I will get all the columns present here, right? So basically we have employee ID, name and department ID. So this is the employee data. So basically employee details are available in this employee table and it is connected to the department table using this department id. In the department table you can see the department id and the department name, right? So let's see what exactly the output we will get. So as we discuss, inner join will combine these two table, okay, using the related column. So here the related column is the department id which is present in both the table employee and the department. So using this column we are creating the relation between both this table and we are applying inner join here. So inner join returns the common elements or the common values between both the table. So in this case, common values how we can find out. Here the first name is a ls. Here you can see the department id is the 10. So department id is 10, that means the department name is the hr. So the first we will get output as the first name is alice. So let me write the output here. So we are getting the output Alice and the department name is the HR. So we are getting whatever the common. So department ID 10 and department ID 10 is a present in both the tables. Then we have the employee name Bob who is having the department ID 20. Is it present in the department table? Yes, it is present in the department table as well. So we will get this output as well. And what is the department ID 20? Basically it is a IT department. So I can write here Bob, who is a department ID is 20 and the department name is IT. Then the next employee is the Charlie. Charlie having the department ID is a 30. Is this 30 department ID present in the department table? Yes, it is present here. And what is the value of the department ID? 30 is the marketing. So here we need to add the name Charlie as we want employee name and the department name here is the marketing. So the next employee is the David. David having the department ID is the null. As the department ID is the null, we are excluding this record. So as the null value, we are not going to match null values. So null in the join null value, we are not matching. So basically if the value apart from null, that only we are matching in the inner join. So here in this case, David is excluded because his department ID is the null. Then we completed all the records from the employee table. Now let's move to the this department table. In the department table, all the records we have already covered like 10 HR, 20 IT, 30 marketing, everything is already covered. Department ID 40. Is there any record related to the 40 department ID? No. So we are not going to include this in the inner join. So inner join will include the common values between both the table. So this join matches the department ID in both the table. David is excluded because his department ID is null and sales department is excluded because no employee is assigned to sales department. So the output we will get is just the three record, the Alice with the department name HR, then the Bob with the department name IT and the Charlie with the department name marketing. So basically inner join returns only the rows that have matching value in both the tables. So these are the matching value and this is the output we are expecting when we apply the inner join. Let's go back to the SQL. Now we need to write the query. So first I'm writing basic select query. So for that you can write select star from, I'm writing here employees. Select star from employee. So the we want here, if you see, we want two column name. First one is the name, which belongs to which table. Name belongs to employee table, and this department name belongs to the department table. So in that case we need to write, instead of the star, I need to write this two column name. So here first we need to write the table name. So the table name is the employees. Then we need to write the column name. So first table name dot, give a dot and write the column name. So you can see whatever the available column. So we have the name, employee and the department ID. So for the employees we want name. So name, comma, write for the department table as well. For the department table, this is the department's table. For the department's table, we want the department name. So these two columns we want from both the table. So that's why it is showing that column name here. Okay. So in this case, you can see here we are getting error as we have not mentioned the inner join concept here from employees, and then we are joining this with another table. So write inner join, and which table we are joining? So we are joining with the departments table. So here write departments, right? Okay, now this error is gone. So basically what we have written, we have just written a simple select query. Here we have written the column name which we want to show in the output, and we have just connected the two tables. We have connected the table employee inner join department. Now we need to mention which columns we want to connect. So basically we want some related column in this two table. So here if you see, the related column is the department ID. So we need to connect this two related column. So here in this case, after writing this another table name, we need to write on. On, now we need to mention those column names. So the first one is the employees. So we need to check this employee table dot, we need to connect this department ID of the employee with the department ID of the department table dot department ID. Okay, so let's understand again what we are doing here. So basically, we are writing first a simple select query, where first I'm writing, instead of the star, whatever the column names I want in the output. So I will show without mentioning this column name also, you will get all the columns in the output. Whatever the columns present in both the table, you will get that in the output. But right now, I just want the employee name and the department name in the output. Then we are connecting employees with the department. And here we are understanding the concept of the inner join. So that's why I mentioned the inner join here. And we are connecting this using this related column named as the department ID. So that's why I mentioned on employees. This is the table name and this is the column name. Again, this is the table name and this is the column name. So we are connecting the department ID from both the table, employees, as well as the department. So this is the basic syntax. So if you want to understand, the syntax of the inner join is basically write select, then whatever the column names you want. So you can write table 1 dot column 1, table 2 dot column 2. Then from table 1 I will write the syntax here as well, so you will get the idea. So basically select table 1 dot column 1, then table 2 dot column 2. Then we want this from the table 1. So here the table 1 is the employees table. Then we are connecting this with inner join, we are doing with table 2. So here the table 2 is the department table, right? And how we are connecting? So for that we are writing on. So on table 1 dot, what is the common column that we need to mention here? So common column here is the department ID that I'm connecting. Connecting means matching, that's why we are writing the equal to. So equal to table 2 dot common column. So here the common column again is the department ID. So this is the basic syntax of the inner join. So this is the syntax of the inner join. So we are connecting the two tables using the common column, and the common column is the department ID. So we already discussed what the output we are expecting. So we are expecting this three row output: Alice, HR, Bob, IT, and Charlie, marketing. Okay, so let's execute this and let's see what exactly the output we are getting. So as we discussed, we are getting the same output. The first is the name and the department name, then Alice, Bob, Charlie, HR, IT, marketing. So whatever the common record that is coming in the output. I'm going to copy this same query, and instead of mentioning the column name, I will just put the star here. So basically star, when we are putting, we are mentioning we want all the column names here. So I'm selecting everything and we are going to execute this now. So now you can see in the first query whatever we have written here, here we have mentioned the column name, like I want the employee name and the department name only. So in the first output you can see the two columns only in the output, and from here you will get the clear idea which employee belongs to what. And we have put the inner join, that's why it excluded the null record as well as the record which are not matching in both the table. In the second output, here in the second query, we have written the star. Star means select all the columns. So all the columns present in both the tables are present here. So in the employee table, we have employee name and the department ID. So these three columns present in the employee table, and the same columns for the department, here it is mentioned like department ID and the department name. So from this output it making more confusing. So when you are seeing the output, it is showing the redundant data as well, and this data is not that much useful. Here also we are getting the same output only. If you can see, it is showing the three records only, the same records whatever we are getting in the first table. But the problem is here we want to focus just on the name and the department name. We don't want the department ID, employee ID. In that case, you can exclude this using the mentioning the column name and the table name. So this is the inner join, and using the inner join you can find out the common record between both the tables. So it returns rows only when there is a match in both the tables. And if a record in one table doesn't match with the other, it excluded. As we have seen here for the cells, it doesn't have any common record or same record here in the employee table. That's why it's excluded. It is great for filtering and retrieving related data across the table. And let's see some of the use cases as well for the inner join. Here we took the example of the department and the employees. The same case we can join order and the customer to find out orders with the customer detail. So these are the some of the examples where we can use the inner join. So let's revise quickly. Inner join returns only the rows when there is a match in both the table based on the this on condition. In the on condition, we are mentioning the related column or the common column. If a record in either table doesn't have a matching key, it gets excluded, as we have seen this cells example. That's why it get excluded. Use cases is when you only want to see the record that are present in both the tables. In that case, you can use the inner join. We have discussed the query as well as we have discussed the syntax for the inner join and what exactly the output we are getting, how we can see the output for the selected column, and how to see output for all the columns, how exactly it looks. So we have discussed both theoretical and the practical example for the inner join, and today we are going to discuss about the left join. So inner join we discuss, it is used to connect the two or more table and it returns the common values. But in the left join returns all the rows from the left table and the match rows from the right table. So how we can identify the left and right table? So here you can understand this employee is the left table. When we are writing the query, you need to write in a such a way that employee we are going to define as the left table and the department is the right table here. So it will return all the rows from the left table and the common rows from the both the table. If no match found in the right table, and nulls are written for column from the right table. So if there is a no match to the right table, we will return as the null for the nulls are written for the column from the right table. So let's discuss the use case. Here we have took the example of the employee and the department table to list all the employees even those who doesn't belong to any department. In that case, we can use this left join. So basically, let's see how we can do that and what exactly the output we are getting. So we are going to discuss about the left join. So in the employee table, we have the employee name and the department ID. As we already discussed, the department ID is a common between both the tables. Department also having the department ID and the department name. And this is connecting, we are connecting using the department ID, which is the related column between both the table. And in the output of the left join, we are just want the column as the name, which is belongs to the employee table, and the department name, which belongs to the department table. We will see how to write the query, but first understand as the concept we have discussed, it returns all the rows from the left table and the match rows from the right table. Then what output we are expecting? So as we discuss all the rows from the left table, so I can copy this and the same we will get here. The first output is the Alice, and Alice having the department ID 10, that means department name we will get as a HR, right? Then Bob, the second employee is the Bob. Bob is having the department ID is the 20. So here in the department table, you can check the 20 department ID is assigned to department IT. So second output we will get as the Bob and IT. The third output is the Charlie having department ID 30. In the department table, you can see it is assigned to the marketing department. So Charlie, third output we will get Charlie department as the marketing. Then in the fourth output, if you can see here, the David who is not having the department ID, it is null. So in that case, what we have discussed, if no match is found in the right side of the table, nulls are written for column from the right side. So currently for the David, this is the employee name. It will come here. For the David, the department ID is the null and there is a no match of the department ID. So in that case, the right side table, that right side table is the department table. The department name will come as the null. So this is the output. Let's check from this side table as well. So from the right side, we are just checking the match rows. Okay. So 10 HR we have already covered here. 10. There is a no other 10 value. Then 20 IT, 20 is already covered. Bob IT, there is a no other 20 value in this table. 30 marketing, which is already covered for Charlie marketing, there is a no other 30 value. Then 40 cells, we don't have any matching record on the left side table, so we are going to exclude this row. So basically we are just returning all the rows from the left side table, which is the employee table, and the match rows from the right side of the table. And this is the output we are expecting. So when to use the left join? So when you want to list all the employees, even though employee department is doesn't define or who doesn't belong to any department, we want all the list of the employees. In that case, we can use the left join. So basically we want all the employees, but if the department is not assigned, that is also fine. We just need the employee name and the department name list, even though if department assigned or the not assigned. So let's see how we can execute this in the SQL. So for that, I'm going to write the query. So as we discussed in the last session as well, first I'm starting with the simple select query. Okay, select star from employees. So as we discussed, we want two column in the output, name from the employee table and the department name from the department table. In that case, we need to mention those column name here. So name we want from the employee table, right? So first we need to write the table name, that is the employees, and you can put dot, and here you can see all the column name are presented: department ID, employee ID, and name. We want the name. Same we need to do for the department as well. Write the table name dot, then we want the department name. So basically we want employee name and department name in the output. And we are taking this from the employee, and we are going to left join this with the department. Left join departments. So we are joining this two table where employees is the left hand side of the table and department is the right hand side of the table. So in the left join, we will get all the records from the employees. So employees at the left side, and we will get the matching record from the right side, and the department is the right side of the table, and we are using the left join here. Then we need to establish the connection between two, and we are establishing this connection using the column department ID. So for that I need to use on. We need to write the table name employee dot, what is the column is the department ID, and we need to match that is equal to then department, another table, right, departments dot department ID. I will explain you this again. So basically I have written first simple select query. In that output I just want the employee name and the department name. I don't want all the columns in the output. So that's why I mentioned the table name and column name as well as the table 2 name and the column name. And we are taking this from the employees table who have left join with the department table. So here the employee table is the left table and the department table is the right table. We are using the concept of the left join. In the left join, in the output, we will get all the records from the left table and the matching records from the right table. And to connecting this two table, we are using the related column, that is the department ID, which is the same column present between both the table employees and the departments. So we have written on condition here where we are matching this related column. So table name employees dot column name department ID is equal to table name department dot column name is the department ID. So this is the query. So before executing, I just want to show you the syntax as well, so you will get the clear idea. So let's write the syntax. So basically select table 1 dot column 1 comma table 2 dot column 2. You can write as many table and column combination you want. So currently there are 5 columns, so you can, if you want, you can write as many columns you want, you can put that here. And after that you need to write from here the table 1 is the left table, and we are going to left join that with the table 2, which is the right table, and we need to put the condition. So for that we are using the on, and here we are connecting that table 1 and the column common name. So common column 1, I will write in full form, column 1 is equal to then table 2 dot common column 2. So this is the syntax for the left join. It is kind of same syntax for the right join, just instead of the inner join we have written the left join here. So the syntax is the same, but what we are getting as the output is a different than inner join. In the inner join we are getting the common match record. In the left join we are getting the all the records from the left side of the table and match record from the right side of the table. Let's execute this query and let's see what exactly the output we are getting. So we are getting Alice HR, Bob IT, Charlie marketing, and David is the null. This is what we discuss here. This is the expected output. All the record from the left side of the table and match record from the right side of the table. So this is the expected output as we have discussed. If you are not put the column name, let's discuss that quickly again. So if you are not put any column name here, let me close this first. So here I have written the same query. So instead of this column name mention, I'm putting star. So we will get all the columns here. So this output is not easy to read, but we are getting the same output. So that's why we just want to focus on the name and the department name. So we have mentioned the column name here. So all rows from the employees are included, and David has no department. So basically null is a written for the department name. So this is all about the left join. In the next session we will discuss about the right join, and we are going to discuss about the right join, or you can call it as a right outer join. So in the last session we discussed about the left join. So what exactly does left join do? Right join do exactly opposite of that. So left join returns all the rows of the left table and match rows from the right table. But in the right join, it returns all the rows from the right table and match rows from the left table. So basically join we are using to connect the two table using a related column to get the required output or the join or the combined output. So we have seen this example using two tables, employee and the department table. So employee table is having employee ID, name and the department ID, and the department table is having department ID and the department name, and these two tables are related using this department ID, which is the primary key here and the foreign key for the employee. So basically, whatever the department ID is mentioned here for the employee, all that department ID information is provided in the department table. So we have the information like the department name. And in the output, I just want the name from the employee table and the department name from the department table. So as we discuss, right join is used to combine two or more tables. So here we are using this two tables to combine using the right join, and it returns all the rows from the right table. So here the right table is the department table. So it will return all the rows from this right table and the match rows from the left table, which is the employee table. So let's see how we will get the output here. So first thing we need to do is we need to write the name and we need to match all the record from this department. So here first record is the 10 HR, right? So first check which employees is mapped to the department ID 10. So here we have just one employee who is mapped to department ID 10, which is Alice. So the first record is Alice HR. Then let's go to the second record from the right table. Here we have the department ID as the 20 and the department name is the IT. Let's find out which record is matching with this one. So here we are having the Bob who is having the department ID 20, right? So let's write this Bob, and the department ID 20 means the department is the IT. Next, we have the department ID as a 30 and the department name is a marketing. Let's see which record is matching with this. So department ID 30, Charlie is having department ID 30, which is belongs to marketing department. So the third record, which is the common record between both the table, is the Charlie and the department is the marketing. Next, we have the sales record here, right? Where the department ID is the 40 and here it belongs to the cell. But there is a no matching record in this table. So we don't have any employee record who is having the department ID as a 40. Here David is present but the department ID is the null. So currently we don't have any matching records here in the left side of the table, right? So in that case, what we need to do, if there is a no match found in the left table, nulls are written for column from the left table. Same we discussed for the left join also. So here in the right join, if there is a no match found in the left table, nulls are written for the column from the left side of the table. So left side of the table is the name. So for the name, it will come as the null, and for the department name, we need to give it as a cells, because we need to take all the records from the right side table and match records from the left side table. So all the record means cells record will come here, but there is a no matching record from the left side of table. That's why we are written here null, and here it will come as the cells. So this is the output we are expecting. So when we do the right join, which is also called as a right outer join, so it will return all the rows from the right side of the table, which is the department table, and the match rows or the match recordings from the left side of the table, which is the employees table. If there is a no match found in the left side of the table, then nulls are written for the columns from the left side of the table that we have already seen here. And we are not considering David null as there is a no matching record for the David null. So null we are not matching anyway. So there is a no matching record for the David. And we are considering all the records from the right side of the table. In the last left join, we have considered all the records from the left side of the table. So this is the output we will get when we apply the right join or the right outer join. So when we can use this right join, when you want to list all the department, even those that don't have any employees, in that case we can use the right join. So in the past cases we have mentioned all the employees. We wanted all the employees. If they don't have the department name assigned, that is also fine. So in that case, we use the left join. If they don't have any assigned employees as well, in that case, you can use the right join. So this is the use case. So basically, you want all the details from the right side of the table. In that case, you can use the right join. So let's see how we can execute this one. So for that, we need to write the query. So here I'm writing first basic select query. So select star from employees. So every time we are starting the query with the select statement only. Here we want two column name. We have discussed this in the past videos as well. So two column name, how we can write that. So first table name, that is the employee table name, employees, and dot, you can see all the column options are available. So we have department ID, employee ID, and name. We want the name. So select the name, comma, then we want the department table. From the department table we want the department ID. So in the same way you can select this column. So these columns will come in the output. After writing from employees, you need to mention the join name. So here we are using the right join. Here we are using right join. So right join, which table we are connecting with is the department table. So that's why we have mentioned the department here. And now we need to establish the connection between both this table. So to connect this table, we are using the department ID column. As we have seen, the department ID is the common column, like related column, which is having kind of the same value, the same column name. So we are using the department ID here. So on, we need to write first the table name. So employees, this is the table name dot department ID is equal to departments dot department ID. So basically, I'm just connecting this two department ID column from the two tables name as the employee and the department. So this is the query. Just let's revise once again. So I have just written select star from employee query first. Then which column we want in the output? I want the name and the, sorry, here we want the department name. So I want the name and the department name in the output. Then I connected this employee table. I right joined this with the departments table. So right now here the employee table is the left side table and department table is the right side of the table. Then we need to establish the connection, and we are connecting with this department ID. So there is a common column name as the department ID, so which is present in the both the employee and the department table. So we have written here the statement. This is the table name employees dot column name department ID, which is the common column, is equal to department dot department ID. So this is the same syntax what we have used in the left join. Just instead of the left join, we have using here the right join. So I'm copying this syntax from here. So this is syntax is the same only. Instead of the left join, we need to use the right join. So let me explain you the syntax once again. So here first select statement, table 1 dot column 1 and table 2 dot column 2. You can mention whatever column you want here from both the tables. And if you don't want to mention, you can put just star. It will show you all the columns. And we are fetching it from the table 1, and we are establishing a right join connection with the table 2. So here the table 1 is the employee table and table 2 is the department table. And we are connecting that using the common column 1 from both the table. So this is the common column, here is the department ID. So this is the basic query syntax for the right join or the right outer join. So now let's execute this one. So you can see we are getting the same output as we have discussed. So first one is Alice HR, then Bob IT, then Charlie Marketing, and then Null Cell. So basically all rows from the department you can see here, and no employees is in a cell. So null is a shown for the name, and this is the output as we are expecting, and the same output we are getting when you are using the right join. So let me write the query for all column as well, just for the explanation. Here instead of the mentioning the column name, I'm putting the star here, and let's execute everything. So from this output we are getting the clear idea. Here you will see all the column name. So basically I just want to show you, just when you put the star, you will get all the data. So here you are getting all the column name. Department IDs are coming twice. You are getting a redundant data. Here you are getting the clear output. That's why I mentioned the employee name and the department name columns in the this query. So today's session we will start about the left anti-join. So basically SQL doesn't have a direct anti-join as such, but you can simulate it using a not exist, or you can combine a left join and is null. So using this you can create a left anti-join. Suppose I want to find out employees with no matching department. So in that case I can use the left anti-join. So in the last few sessions we have created this two table, employee table and the department table. So I'm going to use the same table for this example as well. So what exactly left anti-join do? So left join, it takes all the record from the left side of the table, which is the employee table, and common record from the right side of the table, which is the department table. In the left anti-join, it returns the rows from the left table employees that do not have a match in the right side of the table, which is the department table. So basically in the left join, we take all the record from the left side of the table and matching record from the right side of the table. But in the left anti join, we are taking not matching records from the right side of the table. So basically join we are using to combine the two tables. So these are two different table, and which is having the common column, which is the department ID, which is present in both the employee and the department table. So we are using this common column or related column to combine these two table using the join. Okay, so when you want to find out, so in this case suppose I want to find out employees without a department, the record which is not matching in the right side of the table, in that case I can use the left anti join. And SQL doesn't directly support the anti join, so we are going to use is null with the left join. So before we writing the query, let's see what exactly the output we are expecting. So as we discussed, it returns the rows from the left table employees that do not have the match in the right side of the department table, right side of the table. So let's find out. So let's consider first record, which is the employee name Alice, who is having the department ID 10. But we are having the matching record in the right side of the table, so this will not come in the output. The next record is the Bob, who is having the department ID 20. This record is also present in the right side of the table, so this will also not come in the output. Then the next record is the Charlie, and who is having the department ID 30, which is also present in the department table. That's why it will also not come in the output. The next record is the David. So David employee don't have any department ID assigned. It is null. So this is the criteria which is matching our statement. Like it will check out that record which don't have the match in the right side of the table. So David, which is having the department ID null, and it doesn't have any match in the right side of the table. So the output we will get is the David, and there is a no department ID mentioned, so department name here will come as the null. So the output for the left anti-join we are expecting is the David, and the department ID is the null. So basically it is finding out the records which doesn't have a match in the right side of the table, which is the department. Okay, and it is checking all the records from this employees table. So now let's see how we can write the query for this one. So for that, I'm going to my SQL server. And first we will write our simple select statement as we have done in the previous videos as well. So write select star from employees. So here I'm again selecting those two columns, which is the employee name and the department name. So for that, first we need to mention the table name, which is the employees, and the column name, that is employee name. This is the name. And the second table is the departments dot we want department name. So this two column we want in the output. That's why I mentioned these two columns here. Okay. So we want this from the employees, and we are joining this with the department table. That's why we need to write the left join. So basically we need to write the left join syntax only, and after that we will put the where condition, and we will use the is null statement. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. So we are left joining this with the department. Okay, so this syntax we have already discussed in the previous session as well. Then now we want to combine the related column, which is the department ID column. So for that we are using the on, and we need to write the table name, which is the employees, and the column name, which is the common column, is the department ID, and we need to match this with the department table. So departments, and with the common column, that is the department ID. So we are connecting this two column, right? So department ID is present in the employees table as well, and it is present in the departments table as well. Then this till this we have already discussed in the previous session. In the left join session we have used the same query, right? Now we need to perform the anti join here. So for the anti join, it is not directly support in the SQL. So how we can achieve that? We can use the where condition here. So basically what we want the employees without a department. So we are basically finding out if this department ID is present in the department table or not. So for that condition, I need to write the condition here using the where clause. So let's first see what exactly the output we are getting using the left join. So if I just perform the left join, this output we have already discussed what we will get. So here Alice, HR, Bob is belong to IT department, Charlie is belong to marketing. So these are the common record, like related record. This present in both the table, matching records. And this is just the not matching record, because in the left join, we consider all the records from the left side of the table. Left side of the table means employee table, but in the anti-join, we are just considering the record which do not have a match in the right table. So here you can see the David don't have any match in the right side of the table. So in that case, we will consider the David. So for that, we need to write the where condition, and we need to find out that where the department ID is the null. So we need to find out the department table dot department ID is null. So now let's execute this query and let's see what exactly the output we are getting. So we are getting the David and null, and this is what the output we have expected and we have discussed before. So using this is null, we are performing the left anti join. So basically we are performing left join plus is null. So only David has no department, so he is included in the output, right? So this is all about the left anti join. Basically we are using the syntax of the left join only, so I'm not going to discuss the syntax again, and we are going to use the where condition with is null. That's the basic syntax for the left anti join. And left anti join, SQL doesn't have a direct support for the anti join, but we can simulate it using where condition and the is null. So in the right anti-join, basically used to combine the two tables using the join, and it returns the row from the right table which do not have the match record in the left table. So in a left anti-join we discuss, it returns the row from the left side of the table that do not have the match record in the right side of the table. So right anti-join is exactly opposite concept like a left anti-join. So today we will discuss about the right anti-join. So as we discussed, it returns the rows from the right table. So right table is the department table that do not have a match in the left side of the table, which is the employees table. So here in the employee table, we have employee ID, name and the department ID. And in the department table, we have department ID and the department name. And the matching column between both this table is the department ID, so which is having the same column name and which is the related column, and using this column we are connecting this two table to find out the connection between both of this table. So today we will discuss about the right anti-join, which will return just the records from the right side of the table which don't have the match in the left side of the table. Okay, so let's see what exactly the output we will get when we perform the right join. Okay, so in this case, first we will check the records from the right hand side of the table and let's see if they have any match in the left side of the table. So the first record is the 10 HR. Department ID is the 10, department name is HR. Do we have the match record in the left side of the table? Yes, we have. We have the Alice record who is having the department ID 10. The next is the department ID 20 and the department name is IT. Do we have the match? Yes. The second record, Bob is having the department ID 20. Then the next record is the 30 department ID, marketing department. Do we have the match? Yes, we have. The employee number ID 3 who is having the department ID 30, which is marketing. Now the next record where we have the department ID is the 40 and the department name is the cell. But we don't have any employee record who belongs to this department. So if you see here, we have the department ID 10, 20, 30, but there is a no department ID mentioned for the table, right? So 40 for the department ID 40 cell, we don't have any employee record for this particular department. So this is not a matching record. So it satisfies the condition. So basically in the right anti-join, it returns the row from the right table, which is the department table, which don't have the match in the left side of the table, which is employee table. So this is the record and this we will get in the output. Okay, so let me write here, this is the right anti-join, and here the department name we will get is the cells. So currently we don't have any matching record here to find out the name for this department. So here it will come as the null. Okay, so this is the output we are expecting. So basically in the output we are just showing the column as the employee name and the department name. So currently for the cells there is a no employee is assigned. So right now the name is a coming as the null. Also it is not directly supported or simulated using left join with the reverse table. So basically as we discussed in the last session as well, anti join is not directly supported in the SQL. So here we are using left join with the reverse table. So how to do that, how to write query, that I will explain later using the SQL server. So use cases, let's understand. Suppose I want to find out the department who don't have any employee belong to that particular department. So in that case, I can use this write anti join. Okay, so this is the output we are expecting. So let's write the query and let's see what exactly the output we are getting. So here you can see the query for the left join. So let's write the query for the right anti join. So first I will write is the simple select statement. So select star from department. So here first we are mentioning the department as we are using the left join with the reverse table. So here the table we are reversing. We were using employee as the left side of the table and department as the right side of the table. But while writing query, I'm using the left join. That's why I'm reversing the sequence of the table. So there the department will treat as the left side of the table and employee is will treat as the right side of the table. So while writing query, I'm writing the query using the left join only. As it is not directly supported, we need to simulate using the left join with the reverse table. So let's see how to do that. So I have written select star from department. Now we need to mention the column name here. So column name we have already mentioned here. So I'm just going to copy paste this, and this we have discussed many times. Like the first we have mentioned the table name, then column name, then this is the table 2 name and the column 2 name. So here the department is the left side of the table and the employee is the right side of the table. Now we are going to use the left join. As we discussed, it is not directly supported. So we are going to use the left join with the reverse table. So left join, we are connecting this with the employees table. Okay, so we are connecting this with the employees table. So in that case, now we need to connect this two column, which is the common column, which is the department ID column. So in that case, we need to mention both the table name and connect using equal to operator. So departments dot common column name is a department ID is equal to employees and the common column name is the employee ID. Sorry, not employee ID, department ID. So we are connecting this using the common column name, which is the department ID, which is present in the both the tables department as well as the employees. Then the next thing is we are going to use is the where clause, and we will mention if employees department ID is the null, then show me the record. So basically we want the department name, but we want to see if the department ID is the null in the employees table. So let's write the where condition we have discussed in the past lecture as well, where we use the is null with the left join. Same we are going to use here, just we reverse the table here. So employees dot department id is null. So this is the entire query. Before we execute and see what exactly the result we are getting, I will explain you the query once again. So the first we have written the select statement. So select star from department. As we discussed, this right anti-join is not directly supported. So that's why we are simulating this using the left join. Okay, and we are using the reverse table. So in the left anti-join, we are using the left join with the same table sequence. In the right anti-join, we are using the left join with the reverse table. So department here will consider as the left side of the table and employee will consider as the right side of the table. Okay, we just reverse the table sequence here. Then we have connected this using the left join, and to connecting two columns, which is the common column or the related column, we have mentioned on table name dot column name, again equal to table name dot column name. So department id is a present in between both of the table department as well as the employee. So to perform the anti join, we need to mention this condition, right? So we have put the where condition here, employees dot department id is null. So we will get the result as we are expecting. So let's execute this query. So this is the result we have discussed here as well. So we are getting the null cells. So this is the correct result we are getting. Right join, it returns the rows from the right side of the table, which is the department table, and which do not have the match in the left side of the table, which is the employee table. So that's why we are getting this output. As well as this right anti-join is not directly supported in the SQL. So we have simulated that using the left join and we have reversed the table. So the output we are getting is expected as we discuss, and this you can use in the cases where you want to find out the department who don't have any employees belongs to that. To find out the department with the no employees, you can use this right anti join. We will discuss about the full outer join, why we use the full outer join. We will discuss some of the use cases as well as the query and syntax for the full outer join. So let's start with the today's session. So for that I'm creating a new query here, and we will discuss about the full outer join. So basically join is used to combine two or more table using a related column that we have already discussed. But what it returns is different for every types of join. So for we discuss right join, left join, anti-join, for everything what it returns is different. Then for a full outer join, it return all the rows from both the table. So we have already created the two table name as the employee and department. So employee table is having employee ID, employee name and the department ID. And this department IDs belongs to the department table where you can see the department related information. So in the department table, we have the department name. So this is the related column between both the table. This is the common column. And using this column, we are connecting this two table. So in full outer join, it return all the rows from both the table. So let's see what exactly the output we will get in the case of the full outer join. So let's start with the employee table first. So first record is the Alice, which belongs to the department ID 10. So the department ID 10 means department name is HR. So basically in the output, I'm just expecting two columns. I just put the two column name which is coming from the employee and the department name is coming from the department table. So let's write the output what we will get. So this is the full outer join. So the first output we will get is the Alice, which belongs to the department HR. So we will get all the record, both the matching as well as don't match record as well. Then the next record is the Bob. Bob belongs to department ID 20. So 20 department ID means department name is the IT. So that will come as the next record. So Bob and the department name is the IT. Then the next record is the Charlie. Next employee is the Charlie who belongs to the department ID 30. Do we have the 30 department ID here? Yes. And it belongs to the marketing department. So Charlie is from the marketing department. So that we will get it as a output here. Marketing. Then the next record is the David. But David don't have any department ID assigned. It is null. So in this case, what will happen? So if a row in one table has no match in the other, the result will contain as the null for the unmatched record. So we don't have any matching department ID here. It is considered as the null. It is null only for the David. So we will not get any matching record here. David, the department name will come as the null. So basically, if row in one table has no match record in the other table, the result will contain as the null. If you see here, now the employee records, all the records are completed. Now let's move to the department table. Here if you see 10 HR is already here covered. HR department we already covered. Then IT department is also already covered. Marketing is also already covered. Then for the David, they don't have the department, so it's fine. The next is the sales department, which belongs to department ID 40. But we don't have any employee record who belongs to the department ID 40. So here the employee name will come as the null. As we discussed, there is a no matching record, so it will come as the null, and the department name will come as the sales. So this is the output we are expecting when we apply the full outer join. Okay, so when we can use the full outer join. So in this case, from the output, you will understand when you want to see a complete data set from both the tables, match or unmatched records. In that case, you can use the full outer join. So let's see how we can write the query for this one. So for the full outer join, first I will write the simple select query. Select star from employees. So here we want the two column. First is the name, employee name, so which belongs to the table employees. So table name dot column name, so here you will get all the suggestion. So we have three column: department id, employee id and name. We want the name. Then you can mention as much column you want. So next column I want is from the department table, which is the department name, right? So I want these two columns in the output. So I have mentioned table name dot column name here. So from employees, now we need to write the join name. So the join name is the full outer join. And we are joining this to the table departments. So we need to write that name here. After that, we need to put the condition of connecting both the common column or the connected column or the selected column. So for that, we need to write on, and the first table is the employees table. From the employees table, we want the department ID, which is the common column, equal to department table. So for the departments, and the common column is the department ID. So this is the common column between both the table employees and the department. And this is our final query. Before we execute this, let me explain you again. So basically, I have written simple select query here. These two columns I want in the output. First one is the employee name from the employee table, and the second one is the department name from the department table. I have connected using the full outer join to the department table, and we have put the condition that I want to connect these two common columns, which is the department ID from both the table employees and the department. So let's execute this one and let's see what exactly the output we are getting. So let's compare this with output whatever we discuss. So here you can see. So first is the Alice HR. Then the second is the Bob IT. Third is the Charlie Marketing. Then the fourth is the David Null and Null Sales. These are the output we have discussed as well, how this output is coming, and this is coming as expected. So the query is working as a expected. So basically full outer join return all the rows from both the table. If a row in one table has a no match in the other, the result will contain the null, as you can see here for the unmatched columns. And the syntax you can understand from here, but let me write for you. If anyone asks you the syntax, you can explain this for the full outer join. So the first thing is the select, then table 1 dot column 1 comma table 2 dot column 2, and you can mention as many column as you want. We are taking this from the table 1 and we are connecting this with the table 2. So we are using the full outer join here. This is the table 2. And then we are using the on condition where the table 1 common column 1, or we can mention common column, is equal to table 2 dot common column. So basically we are connecting common column here. So this is the output we will get when we use the full outer join. So in MySQL, it doesn't support the full outer join directly. So in that case, you can use the union of the left join and the right join. So it will get the same output as the full outer join. So let's discuss about the self join and why we use the self join. Everything with the syntax and the query we are going to discuss in this session. So for that, I'm creating the new query here, and today we are going to discuss about the self join. So let's first understand what is the self join. So in the last few sessions we discussed about a join. We are used to connecting two or more tables. But in the self join we are connecting the table itself. So we are not using the two table. The one table we are connecting with that the table itself. So a self join is a join where a table is a join with itself. And why this is useful? So basically from the last few sessions we discussed when we combine the two table, we are having the two different table name as the employee and the department, and we want to combine the employee name and the department name, so we want that as a output. So we have combined these two table, and using the different combination, using the different join, we discuss about what exactly the output we will get. But in the self join, we are not combining the two table. We are combining the table, or we are joining the table with that table itself. And we have discussed here why we use the other join cases, right? Whatever the join type we have discussed so far. So we have discussed the use cases as well. So why we use the self join? So basically self join is useful when you want to compare the rows within the same table. So we will take the one example. So for that first I need to update the employee table. So let's first understand what exactly the data available right now in the employee table. So for that I'm just writing basic simple select query. Select star from DBO dot employees. So this table employees and the department I have created in the first session of the join. So I will provide that link also here in the description. So if you want you can check how we have created this two table, and I'm going to see the data right now from the employee table. So let's just select that one and execute this query. Right now you can see in the employee table we have three column: employee name and the department ID, right? And we have the another table where we have the information about the department. So there we have the department ID and the department name. And the last few session we combine these two table, we join these two table to find out the employee name and the department name combinations. So there are different join we already discussed. So in the self join I'm not going to compare that with the department table or join that with the department table. We are going to use the same this table only. As we discussed, self join is used where a table is a join within itself. So we are going to use one table only, which is the employee table. Just for this session I'm making some changes in this employee table. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add one more column in this table, name as the manager. So basically what I wanted to show is the use case. So basically I want to see employees and their reporting manager. So we will add the manager ID here, and we will see who is the manager of that particular employee. So for that we need to add the manager ID first. So for that, I need to make some changes in this table. So I have already written the queries for that. So we are going to use this alter query. So basically my table is now already created, right? Employee table we have already created. So in that case, I'm using the alter query to update the manager ID. So for that, I'm using this query to add the manager ID. So I'm just going to copy paste this query. All these queries I will provide in the description as well as in the comment section. Paste it here and just execute this query. So you can see the message commands completed successfully. So this is created a new column name as the manager ID to the existing employee table. So this is our existing employee table. Let's execute this. Here you can see the manager ID column is created. But right now all the values are the null. Okay. So we want to insert the value. So for the inserting value, we use the insert into command. So I have written the query for that one also. So we are going to insert the values here. We are going to update the values in the manager ID. So for that, I'm using the update statement. So once the column is added, you can insert the data using the update statement. So I have written query for that one also. You can just copy paste it from here for your practice purpose. And this is the update query where we are updating the manager ID. and we are keeping the condition here as the employee ID. So for every employee ID, we are updating the manager ID here. So just copy and paste this query and execute this one. You can see 4 rows are affected, and if I execute this query again, you can see now it is showing the data. So this is the data we are expecting to be available in the manager ID. Okay, so basically if you are not created any new table, you can directly create using the create table. How to do that we have already discussed in the first session of the join, as well as we have the separate session, we have created the table there, we have created the database, as well as we have seen the insert into command to add the data into the table. So all these things we have already discussed. Here I just wanted to update one table, one column in the table. That's why I'm not going to explain again in detail here. But from here you can understand we just added the one column name as the manager ID here, and we have added the data. Now the use case is here I want to show employee and who they report to, that means their manager. So use case here is in the output I want show employees and who they report to. So this is the output we are expecting, right? So we can write the query for this one. So how to write query? Let's discuss about this one. So as we discussed, we are going to use one table only. So from the last few sessions of the join, you can see we have used the two table name as the employee and the department. And this is the query and the syntax we have already discussed. So kind of same syntax we are going to use here as well. So first I'm going to write is a basic simple select query. So write select star from employees. So this is the table name. So once you have written the select query, here select star from employees, I will mention here E. So I'm giving the alias name. So every time, everywhere you don't need to mention employees and employees again, you can mention just E there. So we are going to use the left join here, and we are connecting with the same table. So we are using the self join. So that's why I'm mentioning the same table name, which is the employees, but here the alias name I will give the different. So for the manager I will give the alias name here as the M. So basically we want to compare the same table with itself only to find out the manager of each employee. So right now just we have given the manager ID, right, which is the employee ID of the manager. So we want to compare who is the manager of each and every employee. So basically I just written the left join, and I have given the alias for the other table, which is the M. Now what I want here the column. So column name here, if you see here, we want just employee and the respective manager. So for that employee name, from where you can get from this employee table. So here you can write this E alias name, you can use and directly write the query E dot name. Okay, so this is the name, employee name we want, and I want to give the name to this column. So I want the column name as the employee name. The other column I want in the output is the manager name. So for the manager name I'm using this M alias, which is related for the manager. So M dot, again we want is the name, manager name as manager name. So basically we are trying to find out the employee name as well as the manager name. And what is the column we are going to connect is the manager ID and the employee ID. So basically we can mention the on, and here we are going to compare E dot manager ID is equal to M dot employee ID. So we are going to compare this with the M dot employee ID. So let's execute this query. Now you can see the output here. So before we going to discuss about the output, let's first understand the query we have written. I will explain you the query again. So we are discussing about the self join. So self join means we are connecting with the same table, and this self join we use to compare the data between the same table. So regarding the query, first employee is the main table alias for the employees, and employee M is the second reference to the same table, and it is used to look up the manager's name. So this is the same table, but we have given the alias name as the different. So we are referring the same employee table, but alias name E is the main table alias for the employee, and the alias name M is the second reference to the same table which we are using to find out the manager's name. Okay, then we join e dot manager id here, which is the employer's name, with m dot employee id, which is the manager's own id, right? So let me compare this with dbo dot employee so you will get idea about this one. So if you see the original table, here manager ID is the basically employee ID only. So employee ID here mentioned as the one. So employee ID one means what? Manager for Bob is the Alice. So here you can see for the Alice there is a no manager ID. So manager name is also coming as the null. For Bob, manager ID is 1. That's why we can see here the employee ID 1 is assigned to Alice. That's why for the Bob, the manager name is coming as the Alice. Then for Charlie, the manager ID is again 1. That means Alice is the manager for the Charlie. For the David, the manager ID is 2. Now, if you can see in the employee ID, the 2 manager ID is assigned to Bob. That's why the Bob name is coming in front of the David as the manager name. So basically we join e dot manager ID, which is basically the employee's manager, with the m dot employee ID, which is the manager's own ID. So basically this is the employee ID and this is the manager ID, and we are using a left join here. It ensures that the employee with no manager, like the CEO or anyone, are still included with the null for the manager. So if you can see, all the employees name are coming here, and here for the Alice the manager name is missing, but still it is coming as we are using the left join. So let's revise again. A self join, it is a regular join where a table we are joining to itself. So you treat the same table as a two separate entities by giving a different alias name as we discuss here. This is useful when you want to compare a rows with the same table. So we have compared this two column, manager ID and name, and we have compared rows within the same table. And why we use the self join? So here in this case we use this self join to find out the employee manager relationship. So basically we find out who reports to whom. Then the another case, if you want a parent child relationship, in that case also you can use the self join. Thank you for watching this video till the end. If you have any question related to join, you can put down that in the comment section. I will try to respond them as soon as possible. All the queries related to the all types of join are available in both the description as well as in the comment section. If this video is useful for you, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press that notification bell icon so you will get notified every time I post a new video. So thank you for watching this video. Have a nice day.